Hey guys, so obviously we're not meeting as a class today. What I wanted to do though is go ahead and give you your notes as if we were meeting as a class. So first, I wanted to look at our folder for today to see what's going on. So if you click on third quarter, today's week 23, and you can see our week at a glance. So you can go ahead and look at what it is we're doing this week. Today, you need to start working on iReady. You need to do your week 23 5-a-day for Monday. And we're going to go ahead and take our notes and everything so you can practice on your own today. So when you click on Monday, you can see what two things you should be able to do. Identify the matching operation on a list of keywords and write two word phrases for a given expression, which is the opposite of what you all did on Friday. So, down here at the bottom, you can see your 5-a-days already here and also my favorite note for today. But in order to complete the my favorite note, you need today's notes. So what I want you all to do is go ahead and get out your math folder and turn to the page that says Reading Algebraic Expressions. It looks like this, and now would be a good time to pause the video until everyone gets where they need to be. Okay, so if you have your notes out, it should say Reading Algebraic Expressions at the top. So an algebraic expression is an expression that may contain numbers, variables, and operations, which we talked about that on Friday, that all we're doing is adding variables to it. It's the same thing as numeric expressions with a letter. So let me make this a little bit bigger. And remember, you all can pause this video whenever you all need to if it's going a little too fast, so you can write this down. You can translate an algebraic expression into a word phrase. So on Friday, we took it and we took our word phrase and we changed them into expressions. So today we're just doing the opposite. So an algebraic expression can have more than one word phrase, which means when you read it off, you can say more than one thing because there's more than one word that means each operation. So, here's some examples. This is not all of them, but these are some that are commonly used in the word phrases. And we just need to write the operation that goes next to them. So for sum, we know that is the answer to an addition problem. When you times something, that is the same as multiplication. The difference of something is subtraction. If something is less than, like 6 less than 8, you're going to subtract. And remember, this is also one of those switch phrases, which means that you switch the numbers. A lot of people struggled with that on Friday's assignment. But when you have, like, if you have 3 less than 8, then you need to switch the numbers and say 8 minus 3. Or if it's a number less than 10, you would switch the number, or you would switch the numbers, and it would be 10 minus whatever letter that is. A quotient is an answer to a division problem. If something is greater than something else, it's just the opposite of less than, which means you're going to add. When you find the product of something, you multiply. And if you split something equally, that also means to divide. Okay, so this might be a good time to pause it so you can get all of these wrote down. Okay, so we've talked about this before, but a number, when it's right next to a variable, it means to multiply. And that would be saying, like, if you had 2k, then you would multiply the 2 and the k. A fraction bar is the same as divide. And remember that addition and multiplication are commutative, which means that the order does not matter. So, with division and subtraction, though, order does matter when writing word phrases. So, those aren't commutative. So, we're going to practice a little bit, and we're going to write two word phrases for each algebraic expression. So the first one, if we just read this, then we have 6 more than G. So that could be one word phrase. And then our next word phrase, if we wanted to come up with a different word phrase, and we look up here at which ones mean addition, we know sum is. So we could say the sum of 6 and G. Over here, we know when we have a number right next to a variable, it means a multiply. So we can look up here and see which ones mean to multiply. And I know times is one of them. So I could simply say 7 times A. And another one of them is product. See that right here. So I could say the product of 7 and 8. Now I'm going to look down here. I have a division problem. So I'm going to come up here and look at my words that mean division. So I have quotient and I have split equally. So I could do the quotient of 8 and y. And I could also say 8 divided equally into 4 groups. That gives me my operation that I'm gonna do, and then my two numbers. Neither one of these are switch phrases, so I would keep it exactly like it is in the order that it is. And sorry, it should be Y groups, not 4 groups. Lastly, I have P minus 4. So this time, I'm going to simply say P minus 4, just as if I was reading it. But I can also say 4 less than P. And the reason I put the 4 first here is because less than is one of those switch phrases. And so that tells me that when I'm reading it, I'm going to switch my numbers or my variables and write it as P minus 4 instead of 4 minus P. So that's something you really want to watch for is if it says less than, you're going to switch the order. Okay? Pause the video right here or go back if you need time to write any of this down. So now we are going to look at the next page, which is our practice. I'm not going to do all of these for you because this is going to be kind of like your all's homework. And I'm going to check this tomorrow when you all get into class to make sure that you actually did what I asked. There are 9 problems. So remember, you can use this page, or you can use up here these words to help you kind of come up with what you want to say. If you're in my room or you remember my big bulletin board in my room, you can also use words from up there to help describe what's going on. But here you're going to write 2 word phrases that represent each one of these expressions. So for instance, here we have addition. So I'm going to go back up here. I can see that greater than and sum are my 2 words that it gave me that means addition. So I could say the sum of 5 and G. And I could also say 5 greater than G. And those are just pulling the 2 numbers and variables from my problem and also my operation. I'm just substituting the words up here at the top that mean my operation. Remember that when you see this division bar, it means to divide. So you're going to have this divided by that. And then on these 2, or actually, 5, 6, 7, and 8, all of these are kind of 2-step, or 5, 6, and 7 are. So you have to do one thing, but then you have to do a second thing. So for instance, 4 plus 2G, you could simply write as 4 plus the product of 2 and G. Since this is addition, the order doesn't matter, so you could also switch it around and say the product of 2G plus 4. Or multiplication is also times. So you could say 4 plus 2 times G. Remember, this is x squared. So this one would be 3 times x squared, but you could also use one of those other words. Down here, this is kind of where you get to be creative. You get to come up with a situation that could represent this. So come up with what you want A to be, what you want B to be. It could really be anything. It could be apples and it could be bananas. It could be that, let's see, the apples equal to, the apples equal $2 and the bananas equal $3. And how much money would it cost together? It could really be anything. It's where you all get to be creative. But like I said, this is kind of considered your all's homework. You don't have a digital activity or a maze or anything to work on for homework. But this will be what I will be checking tomorrow to make sure you have done. So just keep that in mind that you need to have this page done by tomorrow, along with your Monday's 5 a day. This should not take you that long, and so I'm hoping you have some extra time today to work. If that's the case, I should have either given you or sent you some missing work, a list of missing work that I need from you all. And to get to those, remember, you can go to your gradebook and let's see, there you go. You can come up here, go to your gradebook, and when you look on your grade book. So I'm going to look at Dagens. So there's no grades in this class, so it doesn't look exactly the same. But when you open your gradebook, term 3 should automatically come up, and that's where all your missing assignments are. So just look down the assignments, and it will look down your assignments, and it will show you which ones are missing. If there's not a grade and there is nothing, there's not a little blue square beside it, meaning that something's been submitted, then I am missing that. If you think there's something listed that has been turned in, let me know. The easiest way for you all to get a hold of me today might be to message me in Schoology, but some of you, obviously, if you're with me, then just let me know. I hope these notes make sense. Tomorrow, we're going to use this to kind of help solve our equations. So if you let me know if you need help today, guys. Thanks. Bye.